Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. So the counting begins again. So though finite, but in infinite cycles. तो आज के हमरा meditation aspect अब बात दे दो. So Shanti mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Three Shantis are told for getting peace from three kinds of suffering. One is suffering which comes from our own self, mind and body. And second is suffering which we get from other living beings. And third is suffering which comes from divine forces like natural calamities, etc. So now we were studying Tattwabodha. Tattva means principle or thatness or Brahmanness or the ultimate truthness. The suffix twa in Sanskrit denotes ness. So Gotva means cowness. Similarly, Tattva means thatness, that denotes to the principle, denotes the principle, it refers to the principle. Bodha means the knowledge. So the knowledge of principle or knowledge of Brahman is called Tattvabodha. So we had seen many verses of this text which is arguably written by Shankaracharya because there is a controversy there. So we had seen many things. Now we go back to Samadhana. Shraddha we had seen. Now we see what is Samadhana. So please repeat after me. Samadhanam kim? Samadhanam kim? Chittai kagrata. Chittai kagrata. So Samadhana means Sama plus Adhana. Fixing your mind or fixing something equanimously, completely. Sama plus Adhana. Adhana means fixing. Sama means completely, holistically, equanimously. What is that? Chitta ekagrata. Chitta ekagrata. Chitta is your mind stuff. Your mind and thoughts is called chitta. The one pointed focus or concentration of chitta is called samadhana. The one pointed focus or concentration of chitta is called samadhana. So chitta aikagrata is samadhana. Then we also saw mumukshutva. So what is mumukshutva? So getting rid, the desire to get rid of the cycle of birth and death is called mumukshutva. So how do you say that? How do you express that? Let me be free. So please repeat after me. Mumukshutvam kim? Mumukshutvam kim? Moksho me bhuyat iti ichha. Etat sadhana chatushtayam. Tatah tattva-vivekasya adhikarino bhavanti. So what is mumukshutva? Mumukshutva is the desire where the person says, moksho me bhuyat. Let me be free. Let me be free. This desire, when it comes, that is called mumukshutva. And moktum ichha, mumuksha. The desire to get liberated is mumuksha. A person, the condition of having this desire is mumukshutva. Just as we saw earlier, the suffix tva denotes ness. So moksha ness or mumukshu. Who is mumukshu? Mumukshu is an aspirant who wants moksha. So the mumukshu-ness or the state of being a person who needs to be free, who wants to be free, is mumukshutva. What is the example which Sri Ramakrishna gives? That a guru takes the child, the disciple, to the lake or river or pond, whatever, and says that you will be anxious for God realization just like this. How? He dips the head of the disciple in the water and keeps it there. So he gasps for breath, and then the disciple guru says, how did you feel? I felt as though I will die, so I wanted this. There is another example, Deepta Shikhavat. So if your head has fire on that, what will you do? You will rush towards the nearest fire extinguisher or water or whatever. So something which appears as water can be dangerous. It should be water properly. Otherwise what will happen is you see something which is actually a fuel and it appears as water, and then you put it on your head. So that's what happens in world also. We think that by having that one piece of Domino's has come here nearby. I saw. So one piece of Domino's pizza, all my suffering will go away. But for all you know, after some time the suffering only increases. So this apparently, the world shows us lots and lots of things which apparently can reduce our suffering. But when we go into that, we see that, what is the expression? There was one sadhu. This is a story most of you know. So there was a sadhu who was going in the, he was standing in the bank of Ganga, and he saw that a blanket is flowing by. So blanket is obviously a very important commodity. So he jumped into the river and caught hold of the blanket. And then the sadhu on the bank, the other sadhu said, "Acha kambli ko chhod dijiye abhi." So he said that no, and he was flowing along with the current. So the sadhu said that you leave the kambli, otherwise you will die. So kambli means blanket ko chhod dijiye. So he said, "Maine to kambli ko chhod diya, lekin kambli humko nahi chhodta hai." Means I have given up the blanket. I'm not holding it anymore because it turned out to be a bear. So the bear was holding holding this. It is seen that some species of bear, they actually float in the river, particularly those found in the Himalayan region. So, मैंने कंबली छोड़ दिया लेकिन कंबली मुझे नहीं छोड़ता. So that is what happens when we go to things in pursuit of freedom. We want to achieve freedom from something which is secondary, objective, not subjective, but objective. So that is why there is this famous utterance that what we need is not freedom of the senses, but freedom from the senses. We are looking for freedom from the senses, not freedom of the senses. So you do whatever you want, you see whatever you want, you eat whatever you want, and you go to whatever place you want. If you think that freedom is this freedom of the senses, what will happen? After 50, you will not be able to do any of these things. You will not be able to eat whatever you want, see whatever you want, go wherever you want. So, that freedom is not of the senses, but the freedom is from the senses. Freedom where we will have no need to go to something to reduce our suffering, because there will be no suffering. Because there will be no suffering. That is why the word used in Sanskrit is Ananda, not Sukha. Sukha is happiness. Ananda is bliss. So bliss is not an opposite of suffering. Bliss is something which is devoid of any opposite. So this we have to understand. There is another, Sri Ramakrishna was so fond of explaining things using parables. So there is another wonderful thing that a small child is asking the mother, how will I know whether I have to go to the toilet? How will I know whether I have this bowel movement? Then mother says, don't worry, you will know yourself. Similarly, when you have this yearning for truth, God, higher thinking, when you have this need to know something higher, nobody needs to tell you that. You will know by yourself. That is the idea. So Tattvabodha. Now we come to what is Tattvabodha. So etat sadhana chatushtayam. So sadhana chatushtayam is what we have already seen. What are they? So these are the sadhana chatushtaya. Nitya anitya vastu vivekah, iha amutra falabhoga viragah, shamadhi shatka sampattihi, mumukshutva. These four are called sadhana chatushtaya, the group of four which are necessary as a qualification before you even start the spiritual practice. Now, Tatah tattva vivekasya adhikarinah bhavanti. Tatah, afterwards, thereafter, viveka, tattva vivekasya adhikarinah bhavanti. People become qualified to get tattva viveka or the knowledge of Brahman. Now we see what is tattva viveka. Tattva means truth also. So what is tattva viveka? Tattva viveka kaha. Please repeat. Tattva viveka hai kaha? Atma satyam. Oh, this is wrong. Sorry. Atma satyam. Tad anyat. Sarvam. Mithya iti. Atma satyam. Tad anyat. Sarvam mithya iti. So today I would request you to, you're all very active, but still take your computers, your CPUs from hibernation mode and put it in a very active mode. Because today we will see what is truth. We will see what is Tattva Viveka, what is inquiry into truth. And this is important, very important. Why? Say you are going to Big Bazaar and you want to purchase say a belt, an ordinary thing, a belt. But you go to Big Bazaar and you see that they have a huge space having only belts in different sizes and shapes, colors and assortments. So unless you are very clear the kind of belt which you want, the size which you want, you will be confused. Similarly, in this world we have come, if you are not very clear what you are looking towards, what you want out of this life, you will be confused. You will run hither and thither. You will want this in one moment, the other thing in one moment, and end up getting nothing at the end of your life. And that is what in general happens. We don't have a very clear idea of what we want in this life. And that is true also with all our so-called spiritual endeavors. And that is why Swami Vivekananda says, what you need is clarity. And knowledge brings clarity. Ignorance brings confusion. So the synonym of ignorance is confusion, the synonym of knowledge is clarity. So first we should be very clear about what we actually want. What is that we need to get out of the study of scriptures? What is that we need to get by doing japa or meditation or mind control? Why should I do that? And what is that I want to get from that? Now you see, I will save you all this philosophical blah blah and come to something which all of us can understand. This world was there even when we were all children, right? This world is there even now when we have all become quote unquote grown-ups, because most of us don't act like one, but anyway, at least in size and shape we have become grown up. So, but still this world is there. So all of us know that our perception of this world has changed. Has it not? Earlier, like in the case of Swami Vivekananda, when he was young, he thought that being a coachman is a wonderful thing. He wanted to be an engine driver. Later on, he had a different idea. He had these two visions of one of a sadhu and other of a king. Now, we also have different perceptions of this world when we are young, when we are children. But when we become grown up, when we turn into full adults, our perception changes. We perceive this world differently. Is it not? So one example is that a baby, that baby may be a girl or boy, to that person, all the people are same. With cloth, with full cloth, with less cloth, with no clothes. Is it not true? But when the baby becomes little older, it finds odd that somebody is not wearing cloth. But when the child becomes maybe adolescent, it has got some emotions on seeing a person naked. You see, the world has not changed. The perception is constantly changing. What does that mean? That means that what is important in your world is you. It is you who is making your world, not somebody else. From this empirical thing we can understand, we can easily deduce that what is important in my world is me. So I think how I think. So for a person who cannot who has got some impairment in the sensory faculties, a person who can only hear, or a person who can only see, not hear, a person who cannot speak, so automatically some sensory faculties are stopped. So that person's perception of this world will be different. See, now we are sitting in this hall and we are constantly seeing this hall number 1 and hall number 2, we are hearing this.
but a person who is not able to hear, that person will be blessed, because that person will not be able to hear also that stall and also my blah blah. So both ways that person will be blessed.
That person will not come here.
Yes. No, but I am telling, this is an imaginative person. So similarly, all our experiences are based on our perceptions. And so what is important in our life is we. But what do we do? So, now what is important is, I am important. You are important in your life, you are important, and so on and so forth. So what you should do? You should analyze yourself. Right? Because that is the only equipment you have got in your life. That could be the logical thing to do. But what do? We don't analyze ourselves, and we go on analyzing everything other than ourselves. We don't analyze that I in my life, but I analyze everybody else, everything else other than the I. Now you come back to this Sanskrit and you will understand. This will make sense now. Or it should make sense now. If you are not in hibernation mode, it should make sense. What is that? Now it says that Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithyayati. It says that the Atma or self is true and all else is false. True. Even empirically it is true. What matters to me, even in the selfish sense of the term, is me. Nothing else matters. We say that, but do we practice it? Even a selfish person says, what matters to me is me only. But what does that person do? He goes or she goes on a shopping spree, purchases so many things. If all that matters is only you, concentrate on you, but you are not concentrating on you, you are concentrating on the shopping mall. You are concentrating on the mall. And later on you will have to concentrate on your credit card statement. That's a different factor altogether. So this, you see, this you should concentrate on you, because you are the most important person. This is the commonsensical view of the thing. But if you come to the philosophical aspect or even spiritual aspect, there is only one reality. And that reality is Brahman. Or you can put it in another language as our true personality. But instead of understanding that true personality, we, because of ignorance, have projected this universe. Instead of seeing that one reality, we are seeing multitudes in this universe. So, that creates all problem. That creates all suffering. So what we should do? We should not concentrate on this multifarious universe, but we should concentrate on the one and one alone, indivisible, non-dual reality. And that is why the text says Atma Satyam, and that is the only truth. Coming to our classical example, in the dark room there is rope. The truth and the only truth is that there is rope. There is nothing else. But because of the darkness, we mistake the rope to be snake. So because of our ignorance, we mistake this one reality to be many. But there is the other side of the problem, and that is, if the rope has been mistaken as the snake, when we see the snake as snake, what is it? Is it real or not?
At the time of ignorance, it is real.
No. Even at the time of ignorance, it is real. But even at the time of ignorance, what is that which is being seen as snake? So that is real. Only our perception is wrong. The material is real. Only the perception is wrong. Similarly, this universe is being seen because of ignorance. The universe is real. Only the perception is wrong. So we have to perceive it as Brahman. We are seeing it as universe. So that we have to understand. Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithyayati. So I have been now talking from the perspective of a jnani. There are generally two ways of spiritual life in the Indian tradition, and also across religions of the world. One is the devotional aspect and another one is the knowledge aspect. Generally people follow the devotional aspect because they think it is easy. They don't realize, but they think it is easy, so they follow. Just like Girish Chandra Ghosh said that I give my power of attorney to you, and later on he found that he was in soup, in the thick of the soup. So anyway, so similarly, generally people think that path of knowledge is difficult, so they follow the path of devotion, or at least think that they are following the path of devotion. So from the devotion aspect or the devotee's point of view, how do you see this? Atma Satyam. Instead of that, if you say Ishvara Satyam or Bhagavan Satyam, Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithyayati. So apart from Lord, everything else is false. Sri Ramakrishna says that zeros are zeros. But if you put 1 or any other numeral in front of the zero, these zeros get value. Similarly, all things in the universe get value only when there is a Lord of the universe. So there is another way of explaining it also, that if you are in the house and if the master of the house is there, only then all the servants will work. At least in the Indian context, we know this to be very true. If the boss is not there in the office, nobody will work. If the professor is not in the class, no student will study, etc., etc. So this Isha or the Ishvara or the Lord of the universe is the person who maintains the Rita or the cosmic order of the universe. That is the devotional point of view or the devotee's point of view. So there also, what is true? God is there. That is alone true. And all else is mithya, is false. Because they are immaterial. Swami Vivekananda, in his wonderful definition of religion, told that each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within. Do this either by work, worship, psychic control or knowledge, by 1 or 2 or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Then he says doctrines, dogmas, rituals, temples, books, etc. are but secondary details. So this is the whole of religion. What is the whole of religion? To manifest the divinity within. That is the whole of religion. He says by controlling nature, external and internal. By controlling nature, external and internal, you can manifest this divinity within.
How to control the external?
That's what we are coming now. External, first let us concentrate on the internal. External automatically will be controlled. Say a person comes, a child comes into a hall of people who are sitting and all are chit-chatting, now like that. Generally, if there are 20 people, particularly 20 Indians, there is lot of sound. Much ado about nothing. So they are all talking about so many things. It could be from the current political situation to the current nuclear situation, anything and everything they talk. Anywhere you can see the thing. It could be a waiting hall in a hospital or in a railway station, everywhere, blah 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 going on. But there, suppose if a small beautiful child is going to come, everybody's attention will go to the child. Or if there is going to be some big celebrity, everyone's attention will automatically go to the celebrity. Or if there is going to be some holy person coming there, automatically everybody, even people who do not believe in any holiness, they also will be focused on that person. So what does it show? It shows that if you have to influence the external environment, first you have to change your internal environment. And if you have internally changed your environment internally, then automatically the external environment will be affected. So we will come to that anyway. Now, Tattva Viveka. So now what we have seen is Atma or the self is true. Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithya iti. There is a maxim in Advaita Vedanta. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Na Paraha. Means Brahman is truth and the universe is false, and the Jiva is nothing other than Brahman. So many people say that it is written by Shankara, that again it's controversial, it is not. Many say that it is not found anywhere in Shankaracharya's writings. Whatever it may be, it is a maxim. It is a adage, popular adage. So now we need to see what is Atman. We have said that Atman is true. Now we have to understand what is Atman. What is Atman? The question is asked. Atma kaha? Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharirat, Vyatirikta. Okay. It means the same thing. Vyatirikta, atirikta. Sharirat, atirikta. Panchakoshatita. San, Avasthatraya, Sakshi, Satchidananda, Swarupaha San, Yaha Tishtati, Saha Atma. So who is Atma is the question. The answer is given. Sthula. Sthula means gross. Sthula means gross. Sukshma means subtle. Karana means causal. Sharira, body. So there are three kinds of bodies. One is the gross body, Sthula Sharira. Then Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, and Karana Sharira, the causal body. So Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Sharirad Atiriktaha. That which is different, Atiriktaha, separate from the causal, subtle and gross bodies is, and what else? Panchakosha Atitaha San. And it is also beyond Panchakosha. 5 sheaths. Panchakosha means, kosha means sheath, covering, and Pancha means 5. So Panchakosha, Avastha Traya Sakshi, and also it is the witness, Sakshi, witness of Avastha Traya. Traya means 3, a group of 3. Avastha, states. What are the 3 states? Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. So the Jagrat state is waking state. Swapna is dreaming state. And Sushupti is deep sleep state. So I love to talk about sleep. It's wonderful. Already somebody is yawning. So it is like, it's infectious also. You yawn and all people will start yawning in the near vicinity. There is some medical reason for that. So I love to speak about sleep because there are so many advantages. If you speak about sleep, it doesn't irritate you to find that your audience is also sleeping because they are practicing what you are telling. So it actually kind of inspires you. No, that yeah, they have started practicing what I am telling. One. Second thing is, to speak about sleep, not much studies are necessary. You can sleep and speak. You can speak and sleep, and you can speak out of your own experience. And before going to a lecture, you can sleep and say that I am practicing. That is one thing. And third thing is, which is more important and also serious, is that India needs sleep very badly now. So Swami Vivekananda, about 125 years, I think, 20 years ago, he said, arise, awake and sleep not. And very wrongly people have understood it and taken it too literally, and they are not sleeping. So we need sleep. A good night's rest is very much needed because India is supposed to be one of the sleep deficient populations in the world. So we don't sleep properly. Particularly, I saw that IITs are a place, particularly the student communities, who don't sleep. May not be for all the good reasons, but anyway, they don't sleep. So the sleep aspect has to be improved. So all of us should sleep. And every other person I meet complains that I don't get sleep. So I was talking to one person the other day and I said that if there could be some mechanism by which we could, probably somebody can research on that, if you could transmit sleep. So I have a lot of sleep I could transmit to people. And it would be joy. So people want to sleep and they don't get sleep, and they have all kinds of sedatives, sleeping tablets, tranquilizers, etc. So these three, we will all come to that slowly. But these three states of consciousness, avasthatraya, is very important in spiritual practice. Why? Because most of the times we are not even aware of these three states. When we are awake, we are not aware that we are awake. When we are sleeping, we are not aware, of course, that we are sleeping. And when we are dreaming also, we are not aware. So many people end up dreaming even when they are waking up, and vice versa. So that we have to understand properly. So this is, Atma is also not in the three states of consciousness, it is the witness of three states of consciousness. Then Satchidananda Swarupa. But what its true nature? Its true nature is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. Sat means that which exists every time, eternally present. Chit, conscious, full of consciousness, or the form of consciousness. And Ananda, blissful. So, our true nature is eternally present, conscious, and full of bliss. Swarupa San Yaha Tishtati. That which remains, Yaha, that Tishtati, remains, or who remains, Saha Atma. So, Atma is that which is beyond the causal, subtle, and gross bodies, which is beyond the five sheaths, which is the witness of the three states of consciousness, and which is of the form of Sat, Chit, and Ananda, and which remains in that state.
Swamiji, is that Saha or Sa? Sa Atma or Saha?
It should be Sa Atma only. It should be Saha. It's actually Saha only.
Means gender is being attached.
Huh?
The gender is being attached to something which is beyond gender.
No, that is for grammar purposes. Sa Atma. You see this thing, Visarga is dropped because of Atma. Atma is there, no? That is why the Visarga is dropped. It is actually Saha only. That Saha, that Visarga is dropped because of that A. It is Saha only. It is in. So gender is given, okay. As a word, gender is given. But Atma is beyond gender.
Swamiji, please explain the Sushma Karana.
Everything is there. The text itself has got everything. So it is like talking on sleep. No, not much difficulty is there. Yaha tishtati sa atma. That which remains like that is. So there is one poet, not poet, he is a great saint. He wrote a book, a poem, and there he says that he talks about Lord. He says that Lord is such who gobbles up my individuality and remains independent of any basis. So if we are all sitting here and we are all sitting on a chair, so this chair is on the floor, like that everything has got a basis. But God needs no basis. God is not dependent on anything. So similarly here, that Atma is free of any dependence. Atma has no dependence. Now we will go to what is Sthula Sharira, gross body. Sthula Sharira. Sthula Shariram Kim? Okay. Sthula Shariram Kim? Panchikrita Pancha Mahabhutaihi Kritam Satkarma Janyam Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Ayatanam Shariram Asti Jayate Vardhate Viparinamate Apakshiyate Vinashyati iti Shadvikaravat Etat Sthula Shariram. So gross body has been defined. What is a gross body? Panchikrita Pancha Mahabhutaihi. So there are Mahabhuta. What are Mahabhutas? 5 basic elements are called Mahabhutas, not big ghosts. So they are like earth, fire, water, space, air, and that's all. So Pancha Mahabhuta does not mean big great bhoot. So Pancha Mahabhuta means 5 basic elements of this universe. That Pancha Mahabhuta undergoes a process called Panchikaranam. So this Pancha Mahabhuta undergo a process called Panchikaranam. Means these 5 basic elements go through a process called Panchikaranam. What is that process? I will come to. Just like you have this distillation process, and when you extract ore, metallurgy, you have some kind of process which purifies it. What is it called?
Metal extraction process.
Metal.
Oxidize steel extraction.
There is some metal extract. There is some to ore that one some name is there, no specific name to purify that ore.
Ore dressing or it's called ore dressing or beneficiation.
Beneficiation is
Smelting.
Melting is that's put into the particular smelter means hot chamber. Because of that, that reaction takes place.
And impurities are.
Get the real metal.
So that's smelting, something like that. Distillation, smelting, all these processes. So similarly, here it is the opposite, ulta. The 5 basic elements are there in the pure form. Just like gold needs to be mixed with some kind of to make ornaments. Similarly, these 5 basic elements by themselves cannot create anything of this universe. So they have to mix with other elements. That process is called Panchikaranam. How it happens?
Synthesis.
Yeah, how it happens, we will see it visually, because this is better to be seen visually. So these 5 basic elements, when they have undergone the process of Panchikaranam, they are called Panchikrita. Means that which has been, for example, distilled water, distilled water. Like that, Mahabhuta, Panchikrita Mahabhuta means it has gone through the process of Panchikaranam. Kritam Satkarma Janyam. And that Panchikarana Bhuta, that Bhuta or the 5 basic elements, they Satkarma Janyam. They are born of good actions. So you see there are different kind of 2 kinds of actions. One is good actions, another set is evil actions. Now those that are born of good actions, they lead to Sukha and Dukkha. They lead to the formation of Sukha and Dukkha. So the text says only good actions, Satkarma Janyam. That includes bad actions. Just like we say Chakshu in some place, and that means that it includes Chakshu Adi Indriya. Similarly in this the text says Satkarma Janyam means that which is born of good action. It means that born of all kinds of action. So why do we take birth? Because we have done some work and that has produced some result. If it has produced good result, you will have to reap good effects of that. And if it has produced bad results, you will have to face bad results. So, but all this facing the result, prarabdha, which is called, will have to be done in an embodied form. Until you have some kind of actions to exhaust, you will have to keep on taking births. So, Satkarma Janyam. So, we are talking about gross body. So, it comes out of some action which you have performed, either good or bad. Then, Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Ayatanam. Ayatanam is the basis or substratum, a place. Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga, a place for enjoyment or suffering of happiness or misery. A place where you have to face happiness or misery. Shariram, and that is called the body. But it does not stop there. First, in the first part of the verse, Shariram has been defined. Body has been defined. And in the second part, gross body has been defined. Because you see what happens when somebody dies and the person does not want to leave this body. So there is an intermediary stage where the person becomes bhoot and called videhi. So that bhoot is also there, but that person is not in the gross body. So why is that person in bhoot? Because that person has got some kind of prarabdha in this world. So the person is there, but not in gross body. So as far as the definition of Shariram is concerned, all those qualities will apply also to a ghost. Is it not? All that will apply to a ghost also. Panchikrita, Pancha Mahabhuta, etc., everything will apply to the ghost also, but not the other part. That is why there Shariram, and later on the next part, Sthula Shariram is defined. What is that? We have all seen it. So now Somnath ji will tell what is that. Asti Vardate.
Viparinamate.
এখানে তো লেখা আছে। বলুন বলুন। अस्ति जायते वर्धते ना जायते अस्ति
Jayate then asti because it takes birth and then it is
anyway here this is the sequence given vardate viparinamate apakshiyate vinashyati. So what are they?
One is born, then one comes into existence. Then one changes. Then decays.
Na vardate grows.
Grows, then
Changes
and then
decays and dies. So this is found in Yaska's Nirukta. Nirukta is a dictionary which is used for Vedic terms. So the latest dictionary we find is of Yaska. There he gives this definition, and it is called Shad Vikara. Shad means 6, Vikara means modifications. So 6 modifications. Etat sthula shariram. So gross body, till that it has been told that anything which is panchikrita, pancha mahabhuta, and which is produced out of good or bad actions, and is the receptacle or the basis, substratum or the locus of the enjoyment or misery of happiness or suffering, that is shariram, body. And the next part says that asti jayate vardate viparinamate apakshiyate, etc. These 6 modifications, wherever it takes place, that is the gross body. Any doubts till now?
One question actually.
Yeah.
So right in the beginning, the book says, the Shastra says that Atma is all that exists and everything else is false.
Yeah.
Then it basically says what the Atma is not, right? Atma is not the Sharir.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the depth in telling what the Atma is not, and it is not clear why.
Yeah. So, for example, you see, spirituality, the very concept of spirituality is very vague. In fact, it is as vague as it can get. Why? Because spirituality means that which is beyond our sensory perception. But we always are dabbling in sensory perceptions.
And this also is within the realm of sensory.
Very much, very much. So that is why instead of saying this is Atman, scripture quite often, in fact more often, takes the other route of neti neti, saying that this is not the Atman. Because what you find in the empirical world is more often, or almost all the time, not the Atman stuff, not the Atman stuff. We don't see that this is the Atman, we generally see what is not the Atman. So the scripture negates that. Again, you see now if you see Western or even in India, I mean not Western means not exactly in the geographical West, but the Western ideological in India also. They say spiritual to mean love, spiritual to mean something which is of the service minded attitude. You see? So the whole idea of spirituality has been confused. That is why the text is making it very clear that this is not spirituality, that is not spirituality. So if you sleep, there are many people or many places where people will say have spiritual balance in your life, have good sleep, because they immediately think that sleep is spirituality. Are you getting the point? So that is why it is making it very clear what is not spirituality. That there should be no iota of doubt that this is not Atman.
May I say something?
So, Amar, one more.
Yes, please tell me.
So, this is all within the realm of the sensory world, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, that this is the classification, I mean, the understanding of the sensory world as it was at the time when this book was written.
Yes.
So, are we to take this as the kind of, is there any sanctity attached with this? Because the
you see,
sensory world
as far as the details are concerned, have changed. But the overall thing has not changed.
So we can, that is, the Atman is true and everything else is...
No. Even the sensory world details have changed. But here details are not talked about. These features have not changed. Even in the explanation of these things has not changed.
But instead of 5, one could have 4.
You can have.
So that,
you can have. But that's what, on the broad principles remain the same.
Principles are similar.
Like, even if you were to have only 2 elements, we all believe, even science believes, that these 2 elements do not find manifestation in this universe in their pure form. There is some kind of mixture. So, that is why in one thing there will be Trivit Karana. So, Panchi Karana, even in their time there was difference of opinion. But everyone was unanimous that there will be some mixture. So that aspect we can take. That there's some mixture, the mixing up. But how it is, whether 5 or 2 or 1,
Actually, that is not of prime concern.
then no, the mixing up is also important.
Mixing up is important. That is whenever, two elements mixing up, bringing out a compound.
Why we want to make that important is that what we see in this universe is not in its purest form.
It's not in purest.
So whether it is 2 or 20, that is not important. So that is what the whole text we can see in a broad perspective. But when it comes to the principle of Brahman and all that we can take. Even this, you see, analysis of these states of consciousness, science has improved. It has progressed, and we know many things now. That is why, you see, for example, on a personal note, studying neurology helps me to understand what is not spiritual. Like some people think that out of body travel, astral projection and all that, it is all spiritual or something. No, it is all purely neurological. There is all of you sitting here, if we have some kind of equipment, I can make all of you go out of your body experience. It's very simple actually. There is a place called angular gyrus in your brain, and if it is stimulated, then everyone will feel, in fact experience, out of body experience, and can see your body sitting there, and you will come out of your body. None of you trying. Okay, don't try.
What is Atma? The answer lies directly in that direct experience. Now, because the question is there, now in the world, whatever, what we do is that we have a direct objective observation. Whereas the Atma, we cannot have objective observation. So because of that, when the question raises, the Shastra goes for this is not, so that our intellect can move little deeper and deeper and deeper.
No, it is not, it is like that, but not also like that. What actually is happening here is, we have to always remember this, that we are not getting knowledge, we are removing ignorance. This we have to always remember. So the process is of removing ignorance. We are not getting knowledge. So how do you remove ignorance? By constantly brooming. So you remove all the rubbish and then you get clarity. That is why these things are being discussed. Oh, so you see, this is Panchikaranam. So this is Akasha. Acha. So I have taken the example of Akasha. Okay. Akasha is one element. That is the first element. You can call it space. Akasha or space is the first element. So this first element in its purest form cannot do anything. So what happens is, it is formed into two portions. Half. This portion remains pure and this goes on for mixing purposes. 50% of Akasha remains in its original form. The other 50% is used for mixing it with other 4 elements. So this 50% will be divided into 4 parts. 12.5%. Like that, 4 parts, and then finally you will have like this. What is this? This Akasha, one portion is there, pure, and the other 4 portions will go to the other elements. So this yellow portion, 12.5% will go to Vayu, this will go to Prithvi, and this will go to Apa or water, this will go to Agni. So 50% of Akasha remains and another 50% does not remain. So similarly what will happen is, in the Panchikrita Mahabhuta Akasha, that is Akasha which has undergone the process of Panchikarana, 50% will be pure Akasha, right? And 12.5% will be Vayu, 12.5% will be Prithvi, 12.5% will be water, and 12.5% will be Agni. Is it clear? This is the process. So like that, from every element this will happen. From each of the 5 elements, 50% will remain and 50% will be divided into 4 parts and they will go into the other. So this is what. So originally Akasha is there pure and it is divided into 2 parts. One is for the process of Panchikarana, another remains like that. Then in that all the other elements come and mix. So 50% is original Akasha and other 50%, 12.5% each is from other things. So there is an animation. This is how it happens. Good, no? Like that.
That means there will be 5 elements.
See, from every element it is splitting and going into other elements. So every element will have 50% of the main element and 12.5% of all other elements. Clear? This is Panchikaranam. So any basic element which undergoes this process, now it is Panchikrita Mahabhuta. In the beginning of the process it is Apanchikrita Mahabhuta. And after this is Panchikrita Mahabhuta.
Why was taking to 50%?
Huh?
It may be any.
No, that is what the, no, Panchikaranam is a text in Sanskrit. It has been discussed by many people. Shankaracharya wrote Panchikaranam and there he says 50%. Oh, 50% is not my creation, okay. And it is there, it has been discussed many places else also. So that is not my creation.
So what is the relation with our life?
No, that is why I told, no, broad outline you have to understand that the water which we find is not pure water. It has got some earth, some fire in it. This is the broad idea you have to understand. Achha, now we come to subtle body. Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma Shariram Kim. Apanchikrita Pancha Mahabhutaihi Kritam Satkarma Janyam Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam Pancha Jnanendriyani Pancha Karmendriyani Pancha Pranadayah Manaschaikam Buddhishchaika Evam Saptadasha Kalabhihi Saha Yat Tishtati Tat Sukshma Shariram. So here the Sukshma Sharira or the subtle body is defined. Apanchikrita. So earlier we said Panchikrita, that which has undergone the process of Panchikarana. Here we say Apanchikrita, the basic elements before they undergo the process of Panchikarana. And Karmajanyam. So they Karmajanyam Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam. So they are created out of some actions which we have performed in the past and we have to exhaust the results of those actions. And it is for the purpose of exhausting those results that the subtle body is also created. Bhoga Sadhanam. Sukha Dukkhadi. Just like we saw in the case of gross body, it is for the purpose of exhausting your this thing. Pancha Jnanendriyani. And there are 5 Jnanendriyas. 5 organs of knowledge. 5 senses of knowledge. Pancha Karmendriyani. 5 senses of action. Pancha Pranadayah. So 5 vital forces. Manah cha ekam. 1 mind. and one buddhi. Some people don't seem to have even one buddhi, but generally one mind, one buddhi. So 1, 2 and then 15. So total 17. Pancha Jnanendriyani 5, Karmendriya 5 and Prana 5. So 15 plus 16, 17. So Sapta Dasha. Sapta Dasha means 17 Kalabihi Saha Yah Tishtati Tat Sukshma Shariram. That which remains with 17 elements or 17 parts is called Sukshma Shariram. It's called subtle body.
That means subtle body has got 5 guaranteed.
Yeah.
The gross body also has got 5 guaranteed.
Now that is different. This is also different. 5 Jnanendriya is there, 5 vital forces is there, etc. So these 17 constitute subtle body. Just like you have eyes. Okay, this eye is the physical organ. But there are 33 nerve centers involved in the action of seeing. It is a very complicated process. So you have an optic center. So some people have a very healthy eye, yet they cannot see because their optic center has been damaged. So like that. Here subtle body has got all these things. So now we can go to...
So in today's context, brain and nerves are part of this.
Part of?
Sukshma Shariram.
No, brain and nerves are all gross body. Because they all viparinamate and all that. This is different. This is not the Western idea of... You see, Western idea is love is a chemical reaction in brain. That is the Western psychology idea. But Indian thought does not believe in that. It's not like that. So suppose I tell you something, you listen. According to the Western psychology, your brain stores it and after your death it is over. There is no rebirth. But here the Sukshma Sharira remains. It will not die after your death. Are you getting the point? You are not getting the point.
No, I got your point, but what I am saying is science should be Western, it should not be divided into Western or Eastern. Science is science, so which one? What does science?
Philosophy.
No, I am not talking about science now. I am talking about philosophy. Science, of course, is very, very far from even whatever we are talking. Science does not believe in rebirth. Of course, it does not believe. But science does not believe in many other things. Science does not believe in mukti. Nothing it believes in. So we are not even going anywhere near science. But even philosophy, Western philosophy or Western psychology, the philosophical aspect does not believe in this brain and mind. According to them is same. For us, they are two different things. Brain is different, buddhi is different, and mind, mana is different. That is the whole thing. And when we say that some emotion is taking place, it leaves a samskara or impression on our mind. And this mind will not go away till you get liberation, mukti. So from one birth to another birth, the mind will remain. That is what Indian thought says. But that is not accepted by Western thought.
Buddhi goes away. Mind remains, but the buddhi goes away. Here the buddhi
No, it doesn't go away.
It's the gross body, everything.
Gross body will go away, but this is the subtle body, it will be there. Yeah, that is in Sukshma Sharira, it will be there. It is there.
What is the significance of Karmendriya in subtle body? Karmendriya, what would be the significance of why the subtle body should have a Karmendriya?
Yeah, that has been explained in one way. Of course, this is very simple. Suppose you see something and you are listening to something in a class. So I am listening and my external Indriyas are all listening. But I am somewhere else. So that is why my subtle body also needs this. So this is the link. You see, the subtle body has got.
Subtle body and the gross body, they should function together.
So in the subtle body only, you have mind and brain. So how is that mind and brain connected to the gross body? Through this indriyas.
It also needs to have the karma.
So every indriya has got a gross and also a subtle aspect. So, what are the jnana indriyas? We will see now. Oh, okay, now so it is over. Any questions anybody has got?
Swamiji, this Sukshma Sharira, this is what we have followed as a child also I have followed. There is a place near Tamil Nadu called Kanchipuram where Adi Shankaracharya's Matham is there. And more often people have said that Shankaracharya's got into that Shivalinga in his Sukshma Sharira. That is what we call it as the throne of omniscience, and Shankara's Sukshma Sharira is a resident there with me. So,
Actually, this kind of legends are popular in more or less everywhere across India. But first I will tell you about this Sukshma Sharira business. Shankaracharya is considered to be an incarnation, of Shiva. So in that case, his Sukshma Sharira cannot remain at all. That is out of question. But that is told for devotees' purpose. One. Second thing about that Kanchipuram Math. Kanchipuram Math was not, and this is a big debate, but it was not established by Shankaracharya, because Shankaracharya established 6 mathas, 4 in this earth and 2 out of this earth. One is in Kailash, not Kailash, Mansarovar, that, and another one somewhere else. And he wrote a book called Mathamnaya Upanishad, where he talks about the rules and regulations of all these mathas. There he does not talk about any matha in Kanchi. One. Second, the sampradaya to which those belong is called Indra Saraswati. Vijayendra Saraswati, Chandrasekharendra Saraswati, etc., etc. Jayendra Saraswati. So Shankaracharya made Dashanami Sampradaya, in that no Indra Saraswati is there, Saraswati is there, and which comes under that Sringeri Matha. Well, of course, that is a different thing altogether. But this Sukshma Sharira, we generally, as from childhood, we have been hearing that this person is present here in his Sukshma Sharira. If you go to some great place, they say Ramana Maharshi is there here in Sukshma Sharira. So this is, I believe, to create a kind of awe or kind of reverence for that person. Otherwise, Ramana Maharshi, who is a Jivan Mukta, who was considered to be a Jivan Mukta, means who had realized Brahman even when he was living. Why will he be in Sukshma Sharira? Because Sukshma Sharira, all Shastras say, is for Sukshma Sharira is for exhausting karmas. What karmas does Ramana Maharshi have? Nothing. So this is different. You see, these people, particularly like Shankaracharya, they are born or they are incarnations. Means they embody themselves. So God is ever present. So the thing from which they incarnated, that is God, He is always there. That is the way we should understand it. Not that they are, technically if we understand as Sukshma, but how do you make this a small child? How do you make a child understand all this avatara business? So parents, I believe, very easily tell that they are in some form you cannot see. Are you getting my point? So they say Sukshma, because in most of the Indian languages, Sukshma means that which we cannot see. So they say Sukshma, in Sukshma form they are there. But it is not like Sukshma Sharira, it is different. Are you getting the point? No, Sukshma Sharira is something which is necessary or which takes place when you are in bondage. You try to understand like this. A person who has to exhaust karmas means he is in bondage. He or she is. How can Shankaracharya be in bondage? No, Sukshma Sharira not in the text. That's what I am telling. not in the technical sense of the term, but that he is seeing this, or his presence is here. So his presence is here is different altogether. Because as I said, Shankaracharya is supposed to be or considered to be the incarnation of Shiva. So Shiva's presence is always there everywhere. In that sense. Not only that, if Shiva's presence is always there everywhere, then why do we go to some particular places? Because there the presence is more felt, or it is more pronounced. For that, another reason is there that many people have meditated on Shiva there. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. Narada Bhakti Sutra Narada says there, Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. If you go to a tirtha or a pilgrimage, there that place of pilgrim has been made a place of pilgrim by lot of devotees and sages who have meditated there. So by meditating on a particular god or a deity, you can actually make that place vibrant with the presence of that deity. In that sense it is told. Not, are you getting it now?
Like Sutsa body, it is for the exhausting the karma. Now exhausting the karma needs to take part. Otherwise can it exhaust the karma?
No, why? Ghosts also exhaust karma.
Ghosts also exhaust?
Yes. I am not joking, because you see, Raja Maharaj has seen, so many people have seen, Holy Mother have seen, Swamiji has seen, Sri Ramakrishna has seen, so many people have seen ghosts. I have not seen, I don't intend to see also, but still we cannot simply deny that ghost.
How does it look like?
See, both of us, we will enter into a MOU. You see, you take a shot, I see, I will also take a snapshot. And we will post it on Facebook. Sometimes if people get up and sleep and without washing their face they come, they also look like bhutas. So you can have one analogy.
Advaita Ashrama is the founder of Advaita Ashrama?
Gambhiranandaji. Gambhiranandaji.
That is at the Swamiji's time.
Swarupanandaji.
He has written a book that Morone Pare.
He was not founder of Advaita Ashrama.
Vedanta.
What is
Now, in that book, there are certain pictures given about.
So Sri Ramakrishna said that if you do ghost, you will become a ghost. So instead of doing that, let us do Brahman, we will realize Brahman.
The pictures have been there.
Yeah. So that planchette and all that, so many people used to come and write and all that. See, even with people there is so much of problem. Why should I invite ghosts? Yes.
And there is written like the ego, aham and the faculty of memory, Siddha are included respectively in mana and buddhi, which is part of the subtle body actually. So this memory and ego is not there in the cardinal body, something like that?
No.
So it is just like...
So this 17 will become 19, that you are telling, no? That is, there are different type of countings. One is mana and buddhi, and mana and buddhi, some people they include ego and smriti, that is memory in that mana and buddhi. Some people count ego separately, so it will become 18. Some people include that, then count it as 17. Some people count it separately, it becomes 19. Your question is that whether this ego and memory is not there in the causal body. No, causal body or subtle body? No, it exists in subtle. We have not gone to causal body yet. We have not seen causal body. No, we saw only gross and subtle body. So subtle, it exists in subtle body only, not in gross body.
Not gross body. Causal body it doesn't exist. Its characteristics.
Causal body. Oh, you have gone to causal body already.
Here it ends, but I think in future it's a causal body.
Now, Karna Sharira, it does not come. Karna Sharira is different. These things are not there.
So it's not there.
No. Karna Sharira, these things are not there. Karna Sharira is just ignorance.
So where is the that memory stored actually? The long-term memory or short-term memory?
Mana. Oh, you don't confuse it with the neurological or psychological aspect. Then you will have confusion. It is stored, according to Indian philosophy, it is stored in mind. Mana.
So why you don't have access about other information? Now this body is not capable of retrieving all the information.
Yes. So according to yoga, if you concentrate your mind and you practice, you can retrieve.
From before birth or something, other births.
This is a big question, there is a very big business going on. What is it called?
The therapy, yeah. Therapy or something.
What? Regression.
First life
We
regression.
call what were
Huh.
past.
First life.
So first of all, the people who are doing it is absolutely crap. Because there is no way to verify those things. No way to verify those things. And if you were able to just past life regression therapy, it is called. Past life regression therapy, if you can do, if it were so simple, then why don't you yourself do it and keep other people?
Mahatma Gandhi did it actually.
No. You are confusing it. No. You are confusing it. You see, there was a person by name Shanti Devi, I think. No? Shanti Devi, she had vivid memories from her past birth. So Mahatma Gandhi constituted a committee who searched and went and certified that this is true.
Certified.
That is a different story altogether. I am not telling that there is no past birth. I am not telling there is no rebirth. I am not telling that people cannot understand what is there in the past birth. But past life regression therapy is different. They will put you in some kind of sedation and something hypnosis, and they will make you find out your past birth, which is absolutely nonsense. I mean, it is not, and they don't verify. They just say that you were the emperor of Egypt some 1,000 years back. No verification. And you become happy. And in fact, I checked, I also know little psychoanalysis. So I checked this with some people who claim to have been benefited by past life regression therapy, and what I saw is what they underwent through was a pure psychoanalysis session, because all those things which had happened to them 300 years back were uncannily similar to their own life. So what the psychologists they do, they are very intelligent, they are all practicing psychologists. What they do is they put them in psychoanalysis. But if I am going to tell somebody that I am psychoanalyzing you, the person usually is not willing or cooperating. So if you put a fancy term like past life regression therapy, they cooperate more. I think that is why they are doing it. But otherwise it doesn't make sense. How can somebody go 300 years back and find out who you are in some few minutes?
No, it is like
One. Second, and the very important reason is not the memory of this very life enough frustrating? Frustrating enough. Why do you want to go to so many births earlier? You do whatever you want by knowing this memory itself. That is more important. So this all past life regression therapy crap is absolutely that crap.
But they are able to cure.
No, because that's what they are doing is psychoanalysis. What in the process?
It is very important feel-good factor.
Ah.
So people will go, they will pay a hefty sum to get that.
Actually, what I am telling you, I analyzed 2-3 people who claim to have benefited from that, and I found.
Do you want to know who you were in the last one? In 4 messages used to come like that.
Acha.
This 3 per SMS.
Acha.
Do you know who you were in the last one?
Good business, no? Somnathji, we can start one. 3 messages.
And just I checked once and I sent SMS. Maybe I want to know, and then I again checked because I want to see whether it is from database it is coming or it is going to changing. But it was same only. That birth date and birthplace, and from that you can know who you were. Like that.
Very simple.
I just saw the other day that somebody posted on Facebook that what he was in the previous birth.
And so many people post that I was there in the previous. No way to find out, no way to verify. Better to know what you are in this birth. Better to know what you are in this birth, because most of us don't even know that. So Because sometimes you are in a relationship, sometimes it is complicated, sometimes it is so many confusion.
Tibetans going to find the Dalai Lama also.
Okay. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. বন্ধ হয়ে গেছিল অডিও?
হ্যাঁ,
বললেন না?
না এই চ্যানেলটাকে চালিয়ে দিয়েছি।
ওটাতে আসছে ভালো?
আপনি কি করে বুঝলেন?
না, এখন যখন বার করলাম তখন দেখলাম বন্ধ আছে। লোক ঠকানোর জন্য কত সব যুক্তি বার করেছে। এরকম করে কত ভালো ভালো বিজনেস হচ্ছে না? ইন্টেলেকচুয়াল কথা নয়, কেউ বর্ষা দিচ্ছে, কেউ একটা করে
আমাদের একজন সে তো করে
কিছু না করে বিশ্বাস না, হচ্ছে গিল্টি কনসিয়াস। এই লোক ঠকাতে দেখছে, আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে তারা দিলাম হচ্ছে ভয় নয়, ঠিক মানে বিশ্বাস নয়, ভয়। গিল্টি কনসিয়াস মারবাড়ি ঠিক বলা বিজনেস তারা ওইরকম বিশ্বাস করে না বলে, মানে ভয় পায় বলে সেই How are you? After a long time.
Last time we had extra class and same slot.
Oh, अच्छा.
6 to 7.
What do you do?
Actually, sir, I'm a research scholar. My subject is economics.
Economics. So what is your research? What is your title?
But I have an idea to work on health economics in plants, urban health. Plants.
And where did you do your post-graduation from?
Shanti.
What was your dissertation?
Actually, I have done there on unorganized labor in Durgapur. I am from Durgapur and I have done MS.
Oh, you are from Durgapur.
Yes, sir. And I have done MS from here, and in MS I have seen big clean laborers in West Bengal, different laborers for financial, social.
और उसमें आगे एक फोन पे लगे कोई एक्सरसाइज থেকে ये जो আছে सुनीता चोपड़ा
চ্যাটার্জি সুনীতা চোপড়া চ্যাটার্জি
सुनीता तो उन्हीं বলছেন যে she wants to
she is talking to Swami.
আপনি কি বলছেন?
উনি সুসংস্কৃত নিয়ার দ্যাট মানে হিট স্পেস ক্যাম্প প্যালিয়েটিভ কেয়ার এটা নিয়ে কাজ করতে
ওই নিয়ে কাজ
তো ওটা
ছিল মনে
ওই হ্যাঁ একটা কি প্রজেক্ট গেছেন তো প্রজেক্ট কি পেয়েছেন তো প্রফেসর কারের কাছে উনি আমার নাম শুনেছেন তো সেই ভালো
বাট ওইগুলো
সাইকিক
অন্য এটা ওটাকে সেটা একটা হয় মানে once I was giving her
ইয়েরা এক এক সপ্তাহে এক একজন করে এই সপ্তাহে
whenever I have trouble, I go sit in my room. I try to come down. Then I can see Swamiji giving me instructions what I have to do. I sincerely believe God. He comes as a friend. She stays alone. Husband inspires. Sweeter Chokar Chatterjee. But nicely. Sumita. Sumita. I believe she is Sumita, not Sumita. In New Age is
तो वही काज একটা প্রজেক্ট করব আমি শুরুতেই বললাম আমি করব তাহলে তো আপনাদের পুরো ক্রেডিট দিয়ে যাবে শুধু কি কাজে না এই আমরা জায়গায় করতে দেখলাম কয়েকটা জায়গা হাঁটি নিচ্ছে অথচ কোথাও কিছু ইয়ে করছে না আমি কেন কাজ করব রামকৃষ্ণ মিশনের তরফ থেকে what is the yes তাই না এটা হচ্ছে
ল্যাপটপটা হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ল্যাপটপটা ব্যাগে দিতে
তারপরে নিজের
ল্যাপটপটা এটা ল্যাপটপটা কোনটা এটা লাগানো ছিল না চলে যাচ্ছে হ্যাঁ চলে যাচ্ছে চলে যাচ্ছে কোথায় স্যারকে বলো ল্যাপটপটা নিয়ে যাবেন না থাকবে না না নিয়ে যাবো বলুন খুল তো প্যাকিং হোক
এটা ছিল না কার্তিক ছিল এটা ছিল তো ল্যাপটপ সঙ্গে ওটা যেটা উনি এ করছিলেন ওটা এখন স্ক্রল করছিল এবং টিপ ছিল যে
ওটা মহারাজের প্রশ্ন